Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to Wad's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very welcome. Well, today we've got a map which is counterintuitive. It is both very understated and very bold and in your face. How they've managed to do this, I'm not quite sure, but the balance seems about right. It's certainly not going to be for everybody. One thing that will be for a few of you though is with the tree painting. If you're looking to do a map, we're trying to keep the tree count really low. There's a lovely little technique that you can take a little glance at. I'm not going to go into any detail on this one, just take a glance at it. You'll see how it's done. You can keep the tree count very low indeed. It's going to be a map that was very hard for me to rate at the end of the show, but before we get towards the end of the show, at the start of the show, BonBonBingo cards at the ready please. There could be a bingo or a line or all four corners on today's show. Link at the top of the description. At the start of the show we also have a daily reminder, so get ready to be reminded that the like button needs clicking. Thank you very much for your support. Today's map is Gilead by E Light. That could be Gilead, Gilead. I'm going Gilead with a J. I'm not sure why. There's your start square. Looks plenty buildable, doesn't it? Looks plenty buildable. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. There's your terrain heights. Looks realistic. And I would say yes. And then you have resources that look like, look at that. Is that strong or what? I love that. Good work indeed. And then you have fishing. If you have Sunset Harbour, your fishing's kind of boring, but it's not always about the fishing, is it? Then off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, no DLC required today. There is a one-click collection and a very nicely written short description saying that the map is inspired by the Mediterranean Levant areas of the landscapes, like the Middle East. Off to the workshop, the one-click collection, we've got a few things there. Procedural Objects is listed. You won't really miss it if you haven't got it, to be honest with you. A couple of things that aren't strictly needed, like Move It and Loading Screen, but they're nice to have. We have a Gilead Map theme, of course, and I think it's a realistic 1.2 today. I don't remember. I recorded this like yesterday and it's at the start of the show. You know, the intro bit, and I'll tell you what I was using, but I'm pretty sure it's the realistic 1.2 today. Down to ground level and the roads. And it's the roads that are the bold part, okay? There's nothing particularly wrong with them. There's one or two of the decisions that have been made are very in your face. One or two of the decisions. But you'll notice that the standards are pretty high. Even the bits that are in your face are not a poor standard. They are just maybe not the decision that you would have wanted to have taken personally. Maybe. But then again, maybe it was. And I think because the map is so understated, the map kind of gets away with these elevated sections. That one's like a fairly subtly elevated section there. You'll see a less subtle elevated section a little bit later on. Okay, and I like the way that we have all this these big lights on that intersection as well. Quite a lot of times you'll get intersections that are very well lit, and I appreciate that little attention to detail. Highways, again, equidistant, following a lovely smooth line. Again, no bumps and lumps and no jinky jankies and such. And then another elevated, big old elevated section here. Again, subtly done. Very subtly done. Going down into the start square, jumping over that intersection, over that highway there, which is fine because there are other routes down here, which you will see in a moment. Start square roundabout, it's on a slight incline, but I'm sure you'll find a way of working with that one, and plenty of buildable space as well. Down to the other start square roundabout. This also is going to keep your traffic flowing, because if we go up this route here, we end up on this tunnel. Actually, this tunnel's got a bit of a drop on it here. Now, it could be smoothed out a little bit. You can see we are a little bit coming down on the steepish hill at this point. I think that could have been a little bit more accomplished in the way that it was produced. But as if I'm going to have one mumble about something, mumbling about a slightly slopey tunnel is not the worst mumble to have. Look at this. Look at those towery things, the antennae. Here we go. This long stretch of elevated highway here is quite high. We've got the elevated roundabout, which looks a bit awkward, and then we have that going up via those switchbacks. That's what I'm talking about. That's the bit I think a few of you aren't going to be so big on. And also this elevated highway here is very high. It's a very high highway for an elevated section. And again, I feel that a few of you might feel that this, and it's key. It does need the highway along here, but a few of you are going to feel it's a bit too high for personal taste. Oh, I can understand that. I can understand it. Anyway, this then road heads off into the merry old distance, which means we'll take a little switch across to the rail, which appears here. The rail is much as you would expect on today's map, going into a little tunnel here, and realistic looking hills. I'm loving the hills, loving the terrain work as well. It's just a really lovely terrain. The shape of the map is very nice as well. There's just a lot of good stuff coming out of this one. A little bit lumpy bumpy with the rail there. Just went into a little dip and then come out the other side, where it would have been an embankment across that section, I feel. Or, given the sort of map that we've got here, maybe it would have been elevated. Maybe it would. I think it probably would have been elevated, actually. I take it back. If you're going to have those switchbacks, you're going to have an elevated rail. Up and over the road here is fairly smoothly done. Fairly smoothly done. No huge grumbles with that one. And we're staying elevated, which it would be. Elevating the rail like this, I feel, is a lot more believable than having the elevated highways. It's probably just from what I'm used to seeing in the UK. Then a little bit of a climb, bit of a hill climb here. Those of you that like your true realism, your Transport Fever style players, ain't going to like that too much. But we do go through the start square, and as we come out of the start square, we're going back down the steep old hill here as well. So that there is probably a game changer or a game breaker for a few of you. And for those of you that don't worry that much about it, I think it's within the realms of believability. Just about. I think it's on the edge for me in terms of a Cities Skylines style game. But true realists, like I say, true realists. There's plenty enough true realists amongst us that will have a mumble in the comments. Mumbling is fine, but if you're going to mumble, find something positive to say. This map has got plenty of positive stuff to talk about as well. Yeah, the rail's gone up the bank here. I would have stuck it along the floor by the lake, sea, whichever that is on our right there, and found a way of like winding inland. If it has to go inland over here, I think there's a cleverer route we could have possibly followed. Right, intermission coming up. We'll come back with the shipping right after this.
Who is the mysterious modder? Perhaps the greatest modder of them all. Why the heck are they named after a flightless bird? Find out more when BonBonB met Bloody Penguin and Skylines talk now.
And back to the shipping routes at Gilead by Elite. And Skylines Talk, yes, it was a series of 12 shows, including some of the big names. Even Biffa had a little... Maybe I should do one for him. Had a good old chat with Biffa. Lovely bloke. A sharp right angle turn there. Yeah, there's going to be some sharp turning of the boats at that location. And jinky jank on the shipping routes, which isn't really going to affect things because it doesn't really show so much with ships. As long as it's just a subtle bend like that, you can get away with it. There is an air route which does also have these jinky janks, and that's a sharpish one which will show with the planes in the air. That's the only reason why I'm showing that one, because you kind of want to keep those a little bit smooth if you can. It's not always possible, but it should be, really. Not that many obstructions in the air, are there? Water flow in the start square is very light, but it's just about usable because there are some arrows here. Here's your access down here. There are some arrows along here that's just taking the water around the corner. So as long as you get them in the right order, you should be okay. A little bit of spiky terrain work along the edge of the land there. Right, okay, this is aesthetically very, very interesting. Look at the tree painting. Now we're using the theme here and the Gilead theme, which gives us oil that looks like that. And what they do is what they've done is they've painted the areas where the trees are going to go in oil, and then we've sparsely used the trees over. And you know what? It looks bloody amazing. It really does. Got a little bit of farm work going on. I don't know the Levant area too well or at all, but it does kind of feel a little bit Middle Eastern the way it's been put together. So credit, I say credit. It just feels nice. The whole map feels nice. It's just kind of how bold they've gone with the highways and obviously the elevation on the rail. Elevation, the gradient's the word I was looking for. But yeah, that tree work. I mean, the tree count this map is really quite low. Start square is on a gentle hill. It's a buildable hill on the whole. Like here, you can see it's buildable. But those of you that want a flat space, you haven't got it. And that's not really a big thing because there are a lot of very flat maps. If every map was a flat map, it'd be a very boring workshop. That would work. That start square. We have Harbour over here, which I don't know if you know, if you remember with the shipping routes, nothing came into the harbour, which means there are placements inside this harbour. If you put your docks down on the end somewhere, it's not going to get access to. And a nice little nod to a potential airport there as well, which I quite like. Oh, bang, just hit my hand. Okay, here's that elevated switchback going up into the valley. Yeah, this is going to be down to personal taste. I think 90% of viewers of this show are not going to like those switchbacks. There you go. Let's have a look at a couple of things. Procedural objects, remember I said it's required. It's not truly required. You can probably hear the engine outside. Thanks for that, guys. Rumbling away in the background. Yeah, those struts between the two highways, those are procedural objects. Will not be there if you don't subscribe to procedural objects. Also, I think it's just these little blocks down here that are procedural objects. So yes, if you don't subscribe to procedural objects, you won't have those couple of things on the map. It wouldn't be map breaking. And I really like this. It's a very subtle castle here, and the way that it's all vanilla assets there, and the way it's all been put together. Do you know what? I really, actually, very much like that. That's quality work. Very subtle and understated. You just remember, subtle and understated, and very bold and in your face. What a combination! Right, I think I've shown you everything you need to see. Let's go down to the start square and show you the one little bonus thing that I need to show you. Here it comes. The asset of the day. It's the grey building, Salem, Oregon by Zeus. And it's not very grey building, but it does say grey on the front. So hey, there's your grey. It does seem to have what looks like a theatre or something on the back, which is a very sweet thing. So it's two buildings in one. If it's not a theatre, I take it back. I've not been to Salem. I've not been anywhere. Factoids. Because factoids. The male Californian sea otter, off to California instead. The male Californian sea otter grips the nose of the female with his teeth during mating. Well, that's a relief. I thought it was just me. You kinky sausages. Oh, the male Californian sea otter. Well, why wouldn't you hold it? Yeah, I mean, that's what a nose is there for, isn't it? Her screaming, bite me harder. Going out of the otter bedroom with teeth marks in your nose and trying to explain it to the neighbours. You been at it again, Sally? Yep. The Grey Building, Salem, Oregon by Zeus. Very nice. Today's asset of the day. And sirens. There you go. Ambulance, that one. So yes, we've had engines rumbling, we've had ambulances, we've had shouts of jinky janky and all of those things. But have we got a vote on the map? What do you think of it? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen, or the link in the description takes you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple or a Patreon account. I had great trouble rating this map. I hovered on everything. I just didn't know. Aesthetically, it's very understated, but it's very well done understated. And it feels like it needs a bit more. But it feels like it's very well done. And very well done is 4 stars. But it just feels like it. So I feel like giving it a very, very low 4 stars. Detailing, on the whole, standards are pretty good. 1 or 2 dubious decisions, but on the whole, the standards are very good. I've got to go 4 stars again. I'm going to go very low, but not very, very low. Gameplay, it feels like it should be really playable, but I don't think it's going to be to taste. So I'm going to make it a 3-star map, but I'm going to put it at the top end, hovering on that 4-star line. Very hard to rate this one. Gilead by E Light. It's very accomplished with 1 or 2 dubious decisions. I think that's the way to say that one. And I'm really glad to see it, and I'm loving the way the tree painting has been done. I think that's the one thing we're going to take from that one. It's not going to be for everybody to do it, and people that do try it will not do it as well. But study that map, learn from the tree painting, and learn from the elevated switchbacks. And that's about it. Well, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing. If you are still here, you're part of the 20 and out elite, that rare group that gets to the very end of the show. Use the word of the day into the comments to score yourself some population points, and I'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. Thanks for watching.